Welcome everyone to Keeping Up with Conspicuous. I was not prepared to be live then, so that might have been a little bit of a jump scare. Um, so today, I do apologise. I was bedbound yesterday, so the fact I'm here, and I know Alex has been a little bit poorly as well, is a miracle. But today we are joined by the lovely Nirav, all the way from the US, and my director, Alex, who will be co hosting with me today. What a treat to have you guys both on. How are you
Thank you.
both?
Doing good, doing good. Thanks.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Very excited. Yeah, worked with Nirav for many years, so delighted to have him on the podcast.
Perfect. Well, I think for the viewers who are tuning in this afternoon, which is a little bit different to the UK viewers today because it's different day and different time, but if for them who don't know you, where have you come from, Nirav? What is it you do? And yeah, a little bit about you.
Yeah, kind of consider myself a little bit of an ERP junkie, if you will. I've been in the ERP space since I don't know. I want to say probably 1999, 2000. Essentially, through my undergrad with my MBA in accounting, been using ERP systems, working for Fujitsu, launching their, I think probably one of the very first SaaS solutions in the ERP market at the time called Glovia G2. Been with them on the road for a while, and then had my son, got off the road, got into the Dynamics channel, which I never looked back afterwards. I think it was a
Mm.
fantastic channel to be in. It was right around 2011. Continue to do implementations and consulting. Moving up to really advanced manufacturing implementations and inventory control, WMS, and all these different fancy ERP terms. We love abbreviations in the industry, so we try to abbreviate everything, and then went to go work with an ISV and doing another few other partners, and then jump started my own business essentially, and wanted to culminate everything that I learned through my experience through, I don't know, probably hundreds of implementations, successful deployments, some good, some bad, right? And all that experience, and wanted to bring that to the table and see how we could make a difference and avoid ERP failure rates, help with customer service and long-term users committed to ERP solutions, so to help making their jobs better and more efficient at the end of the day. So really been in the space, only know the space, so really excited to talk to you guys. I've worked with Alex. I don't even know now. I think it's been over at least like 5 or 6 years I've been working with him,
Yeah,
and
it's
he's
been a
been
while.
fantastic. And yeah, fantastic. And it's fun when you make some strong connections in the space. You stay in touch, and you pick each other's brains. And I'm lucky to have Alex on in our corner, and being there with us every step of the way. So I'm excited
Yeah,
to be here.
yeah. Oh, it's pretty well. That's brilliant. And your journey to forming a company, and like you say, the community is brilliant, isn't it? There's such a
Mhm.
good community. I know you just come back from Directions, and there's various other, and Dynamics is fantastic for that. I don't know of any
Yeah.
other ERP that's got quite the community that Dynamics has. I think that's what makes it so brilliant, because everyone loves the product and loves making it better, which ultimately will mean happy customers at the end of the day, hopefully. So
Yeah.
that's the idea. Actually,
Yeah.
Microsoft will be happy anyway, so that's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly. The stuff that Microsoft is coming out with, I mean, is
Mm,
really groundbreaking, and all tools, especially the market that we service, the SMB market with Dynamics Business Central. They're understanding the market's needs, they're understanding the user's needs, and bringing these technologies, very rapidly to them, because they
mm,
see this really shift, where instead of rolling out yearly updates and smaller updates, they're actually going for it, and they're rolling out updates that are meaningful twice a year, that are actionable right away, especially with the whole
mm,
cloud solution, cloud process now, right? You can get to functionality to users faster. So I love what they're doing.
mm,
Obviously, the new concept right now, and the new functionality that's coming out, Copilot, I think it's a game changer, a big game changer for users out there. For even VARs like myself, it's a game changer, to learn and absorb that technology, understand it, finding the right resources that know it, AI, and bringing a lot of this automation at the end of the day to customers because they ultimately benefit, right? Really, really happy with the direction that Microsoft is going with the product.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Absolutely. And I know with Copilot and AI, there's been so many mixed reviews going into the advancements of it and whether it's a good or bad thing. Um, but I think the main sense that I'm getting from, obviously we're only in the IT space, so I can only base it off that. But the main response we are getting is that it's a positive thing. You know, it really does help.
Yeah, it really does, and it takes away, I guess, some of the manual work that used to be there, right? Like for example, Copilot and Business Central now, you could say, put in the same sales order as a previous a sales order for one of the customers in your database, and it'll go in and write that sales order for you. You could even take that integration further and export, let's say, inventory valuation reports out of Business Central into Excel, and then run finance for Copilot that's in Excel, and have that kind of run some analytics around that data and give you some insight in maybe trends or inventory that's sitting there. Maybe that's 80% of your cost, so on and so forth. So it takes a lot of that manual work, some of that manual work out of it, and just brings it right kind of in your face, saying, hey, this is what it is, and now you can start doing your manual work or whatever type of manipulation you want to do from that standpoint. And it's only going to get better. I don't see this like stopping. It's just like the first wave, and there's going to be a second wave, and there's going to be a third wave, and then it's just going to automate a lot more activities that used to be hours and hours of work for companies at the end of the day, right? They would talk about orders coming in from Outlook, and someone has to have their Outlook client up on one screen, Business Central up on another screen, manually punch in the order and go for it, right? Well, I could see some Copilot interaction there, where emails come in, and then directly from there, because Copilot, essentially you're creating a small data model only for your data, essentially. So it's not like Microsoft is taking your data, putting it and attaching it to other data models out there, right? There's privacy there. Microsoft understands that, and they're not going to go out and sell your data without you knowing, right? So it's your data model, it's your private information. So as it's learning, it's getting smarter and helping you become more efficient.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, I was at a talk the other day, and there was it was more about like AI bots, and I can assure all the viewers we are real people, and this isn't an AI talking. I am Alex Block. So, but some of the things it can do, of like replicating some of the things AI can do. I know Copilot's amazing, and some of the things that it's going to do in the future is unbelievable. And they were at this. I was at this talk, and they said the next $1 billion company is likely going to be about 2 or 3 employees, and the rest of them is just going to be. It's all going to be AI. They don't necessarily they which might not sound good for me as a recruitment consultant, to be fair, to say that, but the advancements that are coming in it are unbelievable in the way that it can replicate a lot of what people do in their tasks. As you say, hopefully obviously humans naturally find other tasks to do, so it's not really a problem, but it will make a lot of the, like you say now, a lot of the sort of repeatable tasks will no longer be being done at all, and everything, and go back to being more the human element of everything, which is great. And I know that's what AdCirrus, I know that's what what you believe in AdCirrus as well, is kind of like the human element of like ERP and being honest. And I know that because I know you have Business Central and you have other ERPs as well, so you can give kind of a nice viewpoint of the market of what would work for a customer, rather than having to pitch a specific product, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. I always, when I started the company, what I realized pretty quickly is that we deal with people, and we deal with all levels of people in the organization, right? It could be someone from the C-suite down to the mid managers, right? It could be users on the shop floor, the receiving clerks, and we have to understand at every level what their needs are, what their pain points are, what keeps them up at night, how could they do a better job, how could we remove friction from one department to another as we're implementing. And I tell my whole team, I tell everyone that works for us, is that we are a people-based business. We just happen to know software, and we know that software really, really well. Because at the end of the day, if you can't break through to people and if you can't make them feel comfortable that you're part of their team, you're an extension of them, helping them out at the end of the day, you're going to continue to create a lot of barriers, right? Software should not be a barrier for any organization. Software should be kind of an organic mix of efficiency and automation, right? And with the human element on top of that, that's going to make everybody better at the end of the day. So, we take that piece of it very, very seriously. And, whoever we bring on in our organization has to have that same vision that, we are a people-based business first. We help people at the end of the day. We bring our experiences to the table to make their process more efficient. And we have software, really, really good software that we resell to help with that and facilitate that bridge, essentially, between the people and the department. So we focus on process with the right systems at the end of the day, which turns out so far has been turning out to be the right formula because we want to see smiles on everyone's faces when we do this. And these are long projects at the end of the day. I remember somebody telling me when early on in my career, like, Nirav, when you get into consulting, they're gonna love you when you're there, and they're gonna want to see you get out as soon as you're live, right? And a little bit of that to me is like, that was false information. That's not the type of company that I want to put together. I want them to love us when we're there and love us even post implementation and feel like we're their trusted advisor at the end of the day, right? Where it's fully reasonable in terms of rates, fully reasonable in processes, fully reasonable in terms of what their, our visions are aligned together. So, it's important we have the right people in place to execute that vision and the right systems in place to provide that bridge to make those companies efficient. So that's kind of how I look at our company at the end of the day is people first, and we just happen to know software very, very well.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
brilliant.
that's a really good approach because I think, there's some companies out there that have one solution and one solution only, and that's what they try and help just mold to a business and make it work. Whereas, as you said, you've got the different software knowledge, you can fit the right thing, whether it be Dynamics, whether it be whatever else it may be. You've you've got that open mind to it, which, as you said, at the end of the day, what fits one business won't fit the other, but you want a happy customer and smiles, which is
Yeah.
always nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And these projects, they're long drawn out projects, right? I mean, let's face it, ERP projects are not they're like a QuickBooks projects where you buy a license, you talk to a help desk person, and you start putting in an invoice, throw a chart of accounts, and you find ways to dig yourself deeper in a hole with QuickBooks. But ERP projects are a little bit better thought out, right? They are fully connected systems, and the idea is where you have reliable information, real-time information, and you need the right partner to understand that. Number one, understand how those different departments work, and number two, understand your people and how they work. And then it's my job as the owner of AdCirrus, president of AdCirrus, to provide the right resources to my customers so we could get their projects implemented successfully.
Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely.
I think your tagline should be a smile-based business. I think that'd be a lovely tagline for AdCirrus.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna have to put that one in our marketing department.
Yeah, you might think you're a dentist, but
Yeah, exactly.
So one thing I wanted to ask you, and to be fair, obviously I work in the UK and Europe department, and I know Alex works with US. So it's interesting for me to know, just for my knowledge, whether it differs in the US. So I've had quite a few contractors at the moment ask me about Power Platform and Power Apps as a whole. They've seen a lot more uptake of that being a desirable or essential skill moving forwards. Is it the same in the US? Is that really like a growing area of the technology? And would you
Absolutely.
advise contractors or even permanent people to gain that knowledge?
Yeah, I can't say that enough. I think any product in the Microsoft stack that integrates with ERP is highly in demand right now. Because most of the world runs on Microsoft products, right? Especially
Yeah.
businesses, and the ERP systems, especially Business Central, is out what I consider kind of open source system. within the Microsoft ecosystem, they're making it very easy to integrate with
Yeah.
these other tools, Power Platform, Power Apps. You're talking about Copilot, Power BI, Office, Outlook, Teams, for example.
Mm.
They're just making the collaboration very powerful between
Yeah.
these other places. And I would absolutely recommend unequivocally to learn those solutions, because that's where a lot of value is in the implementations, because
Yeah.
that's where you have lower touch. You could create UIs that are very specific to the user use case, on how they want to do things. You could extend the software to sales reps, to shop floor and things like that, where you don't want to invest maybe in a full Business Central license or something like that, where you could create a Power Automate. You could do a Power App or something like that to create a specific UI and write a web service back into Business Central to update data, right? That reach is very, very long, and I would definitely suggest, because you could be very creative and put together organization specific processes, because at the end of the day, when you do that, when you could implement based on that organization and make it their system instead of a generic system, you're going to have a higher user adaptability, right? At the end of the day, you're going to get these customers that are going to be customers for life. They're going to want to use the system and not have any occasion to get off of it, right? Because you've created a very specific product for them that's easy to manage and maintain, because a lot of this, especially in the Microsoft ecosystem, is not considered a customization, right? It's essentially
Yeah.
just low code, no code, and you could jump in and start doing this stuff right away without a heavy maintenance behind it.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely. No,
ideal.
thank you for that. Definitely. I know, yeah, it's been quite a big topic at the moment, I find, within my group of contacts that I speak to. So it's nice to hear that is sort of a worldwide thing at the moment in
Yeah.
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Yeah,
So
there's full conferences around that stuff now, which
yeah,
are big deals, and I've seen some really intelligent, smart, automated solutions come out of Power Apps and Power Platform. I mean, just mind blowing stuff that you really can't even do in an ERP that you're able to
Mm.
do with the Power App side of it, which is really nice.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's quite cost effective, isn't it? And it's quite easy to implement. So for a business, it's
Yeah.
it's easy to sell, isn't it? And it's easy
Oh
to
yeah.
get the uptake, because the stakeholders are going to be keen on it, because you're changing a
Sure.
business very quickly with
Hmm.
not a massive investment, which is
Right.
brilliant.
everyone
So
needs to save money nowadays.
they
Yeah.
do.
No kidding.
And that's the same on
No
both sides of
kidding.
the Atlantic as well. Yeah, that's the same
Yeah,
on both
Yeah,
sides.
yeah, yeah. I need to save some money for my kids spending it all. But yeah, either way you look at it, you gotta save some money.
absolutely. Well, one topic I know we sort of wanted to go into, and this actually ties in quite nicely, and about contractors, etc., and how you can integrate independent contractors into a business. Now, I know some companies, and we sort of just touched upon it, wouldn't want to go down that route because it can be an extra added cost. But I know, Nirav, you're quite keen on working with contractors. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
yeah. So what's
Yeah,
your view
absolutely.
on that?
Yeah, I think they're a great addition. I think contractors bring a lot of value to the table. Especially contractors that are specialized in certain areas, right? You talk about project manufacturing or project accounting, for example, and you have a specific, unique requirement for a customer, and we need some really high level expertise in project accounting. I think absolutely it makes a lot of sense to pull somebody in, because ultimately, right, what does a customer care about? The customer cares about that you're finding the right people for them to get the job done, to give them
Yeah,
best practice, to give them the consulting advice that they need, right, to move their business forward. So from that standpoint, I have had a lot of success actually from
okay,
using contractors and bringing them in at certain points in projects to help move conversations along, their expertise along, to keep bringing that knowledge to the customer. So I would say absolutely. Sometimes even junior contractors are a great addition, because they're coming in, they're working some base tasks for you and the organization that will then lead them up to more senior level tasks, essentially, right? Because I always say this: it's in the ERP space, it's hard to break in.
Yeah.
There's not dedicated careers and degrees. There might be now. I haven't kept up with tracks. I've been out of college for about 23 years, so I don't know. I don't know if I want to go back, but it's it was tough. It's tough unless unless you're already senior and you've been in the industry for a while. It's hard to get it's hard to get a job because partners want senior level resources right away, hit the ground running, not willing to take a chance on juniors, right? And there's a bunch of people out there that want to jump in and they want to break in. So I've been making it a point in our business to help some juniors get into our organization, teach them, train them, mentor them to become more comfortable with ERP consulting. I think this is a great career. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's really brought opportunities to me that I don't think I've ever would have had at the end of the day. And it's got me to understand business a lot better instead of just other careers that I could have potentially went into. So I think bringing juniors in and helping them grow, I think is better for the industry overall, because that's going to get more qualified people in the business and be able to get them to start providing value in as the market grows. I mean, the ERP cloud market is, I think I heard a number, it's like $100 billion essentially, that's essentially going to keep growing at the end of the day. And if we don't take action now and get resources to learn, right, there's going to be a big shortage, and senior level resources aren't going to have enough time to go around to do implementations, right? And a lot of people we're getting older, so a lot of people are retiring and moving away from the industry. So we need to start making an effort to start training and bringing a lot of some juniors up in the ranks here. And Microsoft has a really nice program as well that they started, kind of a reskill program. But we enjoy doing senior junior consultants and helping them shadow a little bit and bringing them on to become senior level resources. So yeah, I mean, independent contractors, I think, is a great addition to any project team, because they bring whether it's senior, then they're going to bring a lot of value. If it's a junior, right, they're going to bring value from other aspects, right, doing some tasks that maybe senior level resources don't want to do. Could be data migration, could be basic training, things like that, and leave the seniors more up for specific training that the customer requires because their industry is a little bit more complex or whatnot. So it's I think there's a right fit, and you just have to find out what that fit looks like for your business.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think that's
that's
brilliant.
really refreshing. Yeah. One thing I would say is it is quite a hot, debatable topic about contractors and whether juniors should be applying for contracts or not. Now, just from your perspective, that I love the fact that you would bring them in, train them up. As you said, there's going to be a point where those seniors, they're going to end up retiring. They're not going to do it, and you need new, fresh faces. But from your perspective, for maybe other businesses that are a little bit more reluctant to bring on juniors because they think it's time consuming training them up, etc., what would your advice be to them? Is it time consuming, or is it manageable?
Yeah, I think like for example, Microsoft has Microsoft Learn. I think they could easily come in and start learning using those Microsoft Learn solutions and programs out there to begin educating themselves and become billable, within a month, maybe within a month and a half, right? So there's resources out there where you could be a little bit more hands off, but get them a specific path to learn Business Central and some solutions that you want them to be kind of educated on, and where your training time maybe is minimal, right? When you're talking about hands-on training, where you're kind of leaning more on Microsoft to train them. So there's tools out there, absolutely, to get them up and
Yeah.
going, because we understand everyone's busy, no doubt about it, right? Everyone's super busy, but that's where if we get more independent contractors in that maybe don't have all that right experience that we're looking for, but they could also then begin to start taking on some loads, workload, and start building themselves up and building the practice up ultimately at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Yeah, I think that the ability to go, like, I didn't realize you could get them billable in 4 to 6 weeks from Microsoft Learn is
That's so good.
quite an amazing thing that they can do. And if companies can embrace that, then that's gonna give them a lot of success. And I have seen companies who have expanded quite rapidly with junior professionals, and they bring in some seniors as well to help with shadowing and training and things like that. But you if you have a nice mix of seniority, like you said, now, if you just constantly hire seniors, it's, yes, they'll probably all know what they're doing, but it's a very expensive model to growth. and it's not really giving an opportunity to anyone who's trying to break into the industry. And I think that's a wonderful opportunity to be able to get them billable in such a short space of time, with obviously your help or other senior consultants members help. Then and the employees will be so appreciative, and with that they'll be loyal and they'll do a good job because they will see that you're giving them an opportunity to help them in their career. So I think that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I know the contracting market can be it can fluctuate. It can have its good and bad days as every market. But just if I was in a junior candidate's shoes going into the contracting world, do you guys tend to bring them on as contractors and then maybe over time take them on full time, or would your advice be to juniors just stick at contracting and try and get what you can? Because obviously it's a bit more unsafe, should we say, for them, a little bit more frightening because it could change at any point.
I mean that's more of a personal decision, to be honest. The market's the market at the end of the day, but our job as being mentors and guys and gals that have been in the industry for a while is to give people a shot, to give them a chance. And if we could do that and we provide a good culture in the organization, the hope is that they'll stay long term and grow with the company, right? But if there's other opportunities that present themselves, they present themselves at the end of the day. But as long as we're doing our job and helping and building the community overall, I think everyone's going to see a positive outcome.
Absolutely. It's nice to hear.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I mean, and there are some there's Microsoft Learn, and there's quite a lot of academies coming up as well. So I think there's definitely been, over the last few years, with Nirav included, people are seeing.
Yeah.
The problem has now been seen and heard, I think, and now there does seem to be some actions to try and solve, which is brilliant. I know there are a few companies trying to run kind of academy programs to get more people into the channel, which I think is so important, and that will keep all the ERPs, but in particular, particularly focusing on Dynamics. I know there's a lot in Dynamics, and that will really help Dynamics continue to flourish because I know they're normally younger or less experienced people also bring new ideas as well. I know that we've had it here at Conspicuous. We've hired people, and they have far more knowledge of a lot of things than I do, and so you learn from them. Because like Lucy is brilliant at marketing and podcasts, and me perhaps less so. So,
hey,
but
you're doing pretty well right now.
but you learn from people, and senior, junior, whatever, and I think that's a brilliant thing for a business as well, to have that mix of experience levels, because it helps the business be more diverse and just more exciting. So I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex. I think working with you, I think you're very strategic with our business, right? When we need somebody, when we need something, working with you and the way that your team is able to provide the right resource, I think has been instrumental to our success. So it's important to find that right partner as well when you're looking at independent contractors that are going to get you the right resources based on your current need at that time. So it's there's a lot of dimensions to this, right? You have the customer, you have the partner, you have your company, Alex, and it all has to work at the end of the day.
Yes.
Right. And it has to work because there's emotions and there's the customer success at the forefront of everything that we're doing. So as long as there's a single vision, it makes this whole relationship much easier.
Oh, definitely. Well, thank you for saying that. That's I promise I'll take you out for dinner next time I see you. but yeah, no, it's absolutely true. Everyone, we love working with you and AdCirrus because we know that your company's brilliant, and therefore we are able to sell your company well to full-time or independent contract people, and you've obviously got an amazing model and so focused on customer success that who isn't going to want to join a company that is so focused on that? And that's kind of why we enjoy working with your company. So we it's a mutually beneficial relationship, and it's nice and easy. which is lovely. So,
The best type.
so forward is good. and
Absolutely.
but yeah, I mean, I think and yeah, I mean, hopefully for many years to come, we'll continue finding you good people and continue to see AdCirrus grow. You know, because you've done some amazing things over the last. Because how long have you been in business? It's a few
It's
years
about
now,
like
isn't it?
officially 2.5 years. So it's
Nice.
been fun. Yeah, it's been fun. Some sleepless nights. Yeah, but you know it I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest. I
Yeah.
really enjoy the space. Like I said, this is all I know is ERP and ERP
Mm.
consulting, and you know, I'm learning every day, making you know some pretty neat friends like yourself, and um, you know, we'll see what the future holds. There's a tiny vision there, but we'll we'll try to stay focused and, you know, keep moving our customers in the right direction. That's, you know, that's ultimately our goal.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, I mean,
Very
it's
good.
yeah, I think it's fun. I mean, one more. I don't know how long we've got because, as I say, I don't do podcasts often enough, and I should do. But I just had one more question, which I thought of just then.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can edit it all out. So,
No,
but
we're fine.
I think it's interesting that you've made the move from. Because I spoke to someone the other day as well who's looking to do this and making the move from being an employee
Mhm.
to setting up your own company is a really interesting thing. I mean, I suppose what made you want to do that, and what have you found from the past 2.5 years, which I'm sure has been extremely challenging but rewarding at the same time? What made you want to do it, and what would you say to someone if they wanted to do it 2.5 years in? What advice would you give them?
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah, that's a great question. Just have like a an unlimited supply of coffee, like on tap, is number one. Because
Very key.
there's a lot of long hours, a lot of early mornings, right? Stuff like that comes with the territory. But probably the best decision I ever made in my life, to start to kind of go out and venture on myself, because not only there's a business aspect to it, there's a personal aspect to it. You kind of start growing as a person and personally, and the business side is just phenomenal because you make connections that I never thought that I would, at the end of the day. So I would say anyone that's looking to make the leap, I would say go for it. There's never going to be the right time. The time is now, and you learn along the way.
Yeah.
Business learns business at the end of the day, and you just make decisions as you go along. There's no right way to do something. There's no wrong way to do something. It's your way to do something, and you just kind of continue to carry on, and you just see this little small idea start turning into something bigger and bigger every day. So I would definitely encourage it. I'm all about entrepreneurship, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Well, you're the right man to do it because you've got an amazing positive mental attitude. So, and obviously plenty of coffee, which is also key. So,
Have it on tap. You gotta have it on tap.
Yeah.
Like you tell you just ready to go. Yeah, you don't got time to wait you don't have time to wait for a bad coffee machine. You just gotta get it and go.
Just get an IV drip straight
Yeah,
into you.
exactly. That's it. That's exactly what you need.
Brilliant. Well, I think one thing you touched upon is that entrepreneurship, and I know you've recently attended, well, just come back actually from Directions. One thing I think, well, you're an actual at this podcast. If I remember correctly, you have your own podcast. Is that correct?
We do. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we have a
There we
podcast.
go.
I do it with a buddy of mine out of the UK. We call it the ABCs of ERP and beyond. So, you know, we tie in a lot of ABC, you know, ERP principles and topics, but it's just not
Yeah.
about, you know, talking about sales orders, talking about planning, talking about finance or anything. It's really about how other personas within an organization could benefit from an ERP, and how the organization in general interweaves with the ERP, where the ERP is more the fabric of the company essentially, and how these different elements kind of within the business kind of works, and all kind of boils down to a organizational business system, right? And we talk about that, so it's just not, you know, supply chain and things like that, but we try to make it broad enough that ERP becomes relatable to different parts of the business, whether you use the ERP or you don't use the ERP. but what impact it has from a 50,000 foot level to all the way down to the detail of which system to potentially look at if you have this specific business requirement, so on and so forth. So it's kind of all encompassing what we call the ABCs of ERP and beyond. So yeah, we started that probably a year and a half ago. We shoot every week. We release every 2 weeks so far. It's been pretty positively received, and we just love doing it. Like I said, I'm kind of like an ERP junkie, so anytime I get a chance to talk about this stuff, I turn on the mic and start going.
Absolutely. Well, if anyone wants to listen to your podcast, you'll have to do a link on the comments for them,
Yeah.
so they've got access to it.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
I know one gentleman, he's commented saying, how do we find some of those resources that help to train so that we can break into the industry? So maybe what we'll do at EME, we will comment, we'll reply to your comment with some links afterwards, so you've got that. But yeah, I mean, Nirav, it's been so lovely having you on. If I remember correctly, you speaking at another upcoming summit, is that correct?
So we have submitted my sessions. I
Perfect.
submitted a panel discussion along with five other topics. Hoping my name gets drawn out of the hat. I don't know how they usually work and how they do the selection process, but I'm really hoping I do. I really do love speaking at these events. I don't say I have all the answers, but I have some starting points that I like to kind of put out there, and as a community, we just add on to it. So I love the chance to speak at Community Summit. We'll see how that happens, but I will be there either way. So if anyone's there, we'll love to catch up with them over some coffee.
Yeah,
Over some coffee.
Ideal. Well, hopefully you get it. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
You'll have to keep us posted with that.
Absolutely.
I know Stephen Moore, I don't know whether he's a connection of yours, Nirav, but he's actually put the link to your YouTube for the podcast already.
Oh,
he's on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, amazing.
There we go.
Steven's great. Steven is great. I love Steven. Yeah.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, and obviously, as usual, if anyone else has got any further comments that they want to add on and get a response to, we can answer once we're off live as well, so keep the comments coming. But yeah, I mean, it's so nice seeing yours and Alex's relationship as well, because it just proves having that good relationship really can help. Feel like I've interrupted a bit of a bromance being on here, but here we are. But hey, tell third wheel on the side.
Starting to feel uncomfortable here, but okay.
Yeah. I'm blushing.
Yeah, I know.
No, but I'm sure our paths will cross in the future. Maybe when I know Alex hopefully might be going back to the US at some point. You can have a coffee and IV trip over there.
Cool.
But no, it's so nice speaking to you. And we've really enjoyed having you on today.
Yeah, thank you. I've enjoyed your project. Yep, I've enjoyed being out with both of you guys. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
good,
it's been amazing.
Good. Well, we will see you all next week for our not next week, I lied, the week after for an episode, and we'll catch up with all of you soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.